So, how do we manage our worry? We can't completely get rid of it, so how are we going to manage it? The first thing that I think can be helpful is one, just acknowledging that the worry is happening, acknowledge what the worry is, and then ask yourself, is this worry helpful? And why am I worrying about it? Sometimes asking yourself those questions alone can be helpful in helping you to move past the worry. Super simple, but can sometimes be helpful. The next thing is we don't want to avoid the worry by just staying busy. I am totally guilty of this. I try to keep myself super busy to avoid thinking about whatever it is that I'm worried about. If I'm busy and I'm always doing something, there's no time to think about the worry. Sounds like an awesome idea. Can be helpful at times. However, if you think about it, then when does the worry come out? When you're not busy, which is usually right before bed. And then our sleep is affected. So it's not always helpful to completely avoid the worry. So although being busy can be helpful in general, if you're so busy that you're avoiding the worry, that can also make the worry worse, bigger, more stressful. And then it also just pops up at different times that are not helpful, like before bed. So what I recommend instead of avoiding is to schedule time that you dedicate to worrying. That may seem counterintuitive. Why would I want to schedule time to worry? That sounds awful. You want to do that because it allows you to control when the worry happens, which anyone who's anxious, control is our friend. So if we can control the time that we're worrying, that can really be helpful in reducing it coming up in times that are not helpful, like before bed. So maybe every day at 5, you spend 30 minutes thinking about your worries. And that's the time you think about it. When it comes up outside of that time, you remind yourself, I already worried about that, and I have time to worry about it tomorrow. Maybe you jot it down and you add it to your list of things to think about during your worry time. So that's another kind of simple thing that you can try. We don't want to judge ourselves for the worrying. As I said in my last video, when we judge ourselves for the worry, all that does is lead us to feel bad about ourselves, and it may even lead us to other unhelpful emotions like guilt, sadness, things like that. And the last thing, and the thing that I actually often do with my clients, I think is really helpful, is I have them list out their worries, not all in one sitting. I have them do it over the course of several days or even a week sometimes. And the benefit of listing out all your worries is you get them all out on the table. You might notice some patterns of the things that you worry about the most, and you get a very comprehensive list because the things we worry about day to day are very different in some cases. So after you do that, I then have them separate the worries into things in their control and things out of their control. The benefit of that is the things that are in your control, we can try to problem solve. And if you problem solve those things and you have a plan for how you're going to manage the worry, when the worry comes up, you can remind yourself, I have a plan for that. This is what I'm going to do to make sure that this goes well, or whatever it is. And then the benefit of knowing what's out of your control, it can help you to redirect that as something that's out of your control. If it's out of your control, there's nothing you can do. So there's no point in worrying about it because there's nothing you can do about it. So with those ones, although it's easy for me to say, harder to do, the things that are out of your control, we have to work towards acceptance. So those are the main things that I use to help my clients manage their worry. Let me know if there's anything that you guys do that you find helpful to managing your worry.